Hello everyone, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, what have you. Just doing a video where I'm probably just gonna rant and talk for a few minutes, just to kind of get some stuff off my chest. Also, I'm gonna turn on my fan here. For some reason here in sunny old Tucson, Arizona, I know the reason, it's fucking climate change. It's still pretty fucking warm outside, even in the middle of December. It's frustrating because one second I'll have my air conditioning on and it'll get too fucking cold, so I'll turn it off, and then it'll start getting fucking stuffy and I'll have to turn it back on again. It used to be that, like, sometime around, like, excuse the sniffling, by the way. I'm sorry, I know I'm terrible with, like, tangents and shit like that, but I think that needs some explaining. I just recovered from COVID. That's part of the reason why, like, I did not get 2 episodes of Groovy Grab Bag out. It's one of 2 reasons, but I'll get to explaining that in a bit. Yeah, I'm recovering from COVID. I'm still a little bit stuffy. I do apologize if it's a little, unpleasant listening to me snort once every few minutes or so. I'm starting to feel like a human finally, with the exception of the annoying fucking air conditioning. Just sucks living here in Arizona and dealing with that. I was saying it used to be that right around December is when that time of year would stop, where you wouldn't have to keep bouncing back and forth. You could just keep the heat on, and it would start getting cold on its own if you needed it to. But no, climate change has made it pretty warm year-round, with the exception of whenever we get our little cold fluctuations and stuff like that. Now, to the meat and potatoes of today's video, I was just going to talk about channel stuff, but Whirr dropped a new album today, and I have a lot of thoughts for multiple different reasons. First and foremost is that my old band Ocean Void once opened for Whirr back in 2013 when they played. Forgot the name of the coffee shop. I know the videos on my YouTube channel. Just our set, because I don't think we have the right to post nothing or Whirr's material. We opened for Whirr and nothing. I do remember seeing them live. I remember getting pretty close to them, which I guess is really dependent on your view, whether or not that's, like, impressive or important. We were like one of 2 local shoegazing bands at the time. Now there's tons of local shoegazing bands here in Tucson. The movement has branched out pretty substantially. But my views on Whirr have changed over the years. Holy shit. Now, I'm not going to attribute any of this to, like, my musical opinion. I still think that musically they're a pretty impressive band, like, very skillful. That being said, sometimes a band's personality and what they post on social media can kind of tinge your thoughts on, like, unless we're talking, like, Mark Kozilek, or, like, an artist that has left such a mark on me that, no pun intended, has left such a mark on me that it's been hard to, like, completely remove that impact. In a lot of cases, sometimes realizing that a band are a bunch of assholes is a good way to get you to not really want to listen to their material again, no matter how good of a band they are. I'm not going to be the type of dumbass that says shit like, oh, they've always sucked. Like, yeah, no, fuck that. That's just disingenuous. I don't get why some people say that. That doesn't mean I don't take issue with the shit that they've said. Whirr made a bunch of social media posts in 2014, I think even as late as 2020, they were making a bunch of edgy shit, making fun of a transgender shoegazing band called Gloss, called them a bunch of boys dressed in panties, making shitty music, which is just transphobic as shit. And I know that in my social media posts, I called them fascist. That is not literal. I am calling them fascist as kind of like a poking fun at them for doing the whole strongman bullshit. And a lot of the shit that they said, like doing the whole, oh, our fans aren't pussies, they're badasses, and we're gonna weed out the pussies, and that type of stuff is very similar to fascist rhetoric, which is why I called them fascist. I want to kind of remind people that shoegazing, while never being overtly political, does have a lot of leftist leanings. First off, the culture in and of itself. The removal of the self-important elements of rock music, which was vocals front and center, and stuff like that. A lot of people saw shoegazing as that genre that only privileged pretty white boys generally like to front. But that's actually an oversimplification. Sure, maybe some of them did kind of have that tendency, but there were a lot of bands that tried to balance out male to female, ratios and stuff like that. They tried to allow minorities to, be in the spotlight as much as they possibly could. There's a lot of shoegazing bands that had people of color, and it was a very diverse genre. And then on top of that, just the fact that, again, it was like removing those self-important aspects that were seen as corporate elements of music. Such as the need for things to be overly loud, and I guess that's not entirely accurate because shoegazing itself was very loud, but like the fact that drums needed to be like super aggressive, the fact that the vocalists had a tendency to talk about sex a lot in, your mainstream music, whereas shoegazing had a tendency to talk more about sensitivities, emotions, stuff like that. And I'm not saying that shoegazing was alone as a genre in doing that. That's not true. Obviously, no genre is a monolith. But I just wanted to point out that shoegazing does have some leftist leanings. And even still, like multiple bands such as My Vitriol, who spoke out against corporate label bullshit, Kitchens of Distinction, who stood for LGBTQ purposes, rights. I think it's better. I'm bad with words sometimes, unless like I have a script in front of me. Leave me alone. And then there's Slowdive, even, who's one of their lead members, Rachel Goswell, has been an advocate for disability rights since her son has a hearing disability. Imagine being a musician and giving birth to someone who's incapable of hearing. That's a trip, but it's a testament to how a lot of these musicians, they may not be super vocal. I wish more of them were, but they do tend to, at least behind the scenes, advocate for a lot more leftist-leaning tendencies. And Whirr is probably more antithetical to what it means to be a shoegazer than any of the ones that lean more to the left. They may not, again, be overtly political. I do think we're overdue for a shoegazing band to take a position like that, because that would probably push the genre forward in ways that we've never seen it before. Like, we need shoegazing to be okay with saying things. I think the closest we've gotten in recent years is Dive, but even Dive is pretty opaque with their metaphors and stuff like that. That's part of why I like bands like My Vitriol and Kitchens of Distinction. They just have a very clear and defined message without taking away from the elements that make them so good to begin with. So when I'm sitting here making fun of Whirr, there's a reason for it. Now, to the meat and potatoes about my channel. I've already said this in social media posts, I'm going to continue to make the social media posts on YouTube because it appears to help my algorithm a little bit. I'm not going to be overtly political in that regard, but I will say that I'm going to be posting a lot more to kind of talk about music, let you guys know what I'm up to and stuff like that, because it takes me a month to get through an episode of Groovy Grab Bag. I was supposed to get 2 done this month. That didn't happen. And the reason why is because of 2 reasons. First off, I got COVID a week ago. I don't know if you've ever had COVID before. It's my 2nd round with it. And it kills your motivation because you got the brain fog, you got the fatigue, and you don't want to do anything but sit and rot and hope that it goes away soon. The brain fog is the worst. I fucking hate it so much. I would sit here talking to my friends via voice chat and stuff like that, and I would just start not making sense out of nowhere. They're all like, wait, what were you actually talking about? And I'm already bad enough with that, but COVID just made it so much worse. And I couldn't focus, I couldn't concentrate the few times I tried to take out my laptop to work on things. As a matter of fact, after I finish filming this will be the first time in a week I've been able to work on the grab bag. But the second issue is something that I haven't gotten complaints about, but I know that as the grab bag continues to grow, because it's going to grow, that's my faith in the show with the amount of effort I put into it. I think it's one of the best things I've done in a while, just personally. I know that people are going to go back to those old episodes. They're going to take issue with some things, like the fact that the audio desyncs, and the fact that there's little video artifacts. You're not seeing that here because I'm filming this with my phone instead of my external camera. And the reason why that happens is because I have this Lenovo laptop that I spent about $500 on a couple of years ago when I came across a little bit of extra money. And it's got really good RAM, 12 gigs of RAM. Well, I guess that's not really good, but as far as cheap laptops go, 12 gigs is great. But the GPU is garbage. And that's because I was listening to somebody who was in my social circle who claimed to know what computer requirements were needed for video editing. And they did not tell me that, you need a pretty high-performing GPU. So my computer tends to dummy things down. It tends to simulate a higher-end GPU, which makes it really hard to film using OBS. You might notice that some of the earlier episodes of the Grab Bag don't have so many issues with the artifacting, and that's because I was filming directly onto memory cards and having to switch them out every few minutes. That got really fucking annoying and made the filming process really tedious, and I hated it. So I decided to look into OBS and just film directly onto my computer, but I didn't consider the fact that maybe my computer is a little bit of a potato and can't handle that. We're going to try to rectify that here. I say we because there's a guy that makes my title cards for me, my thumbnails, named Charlie. And he has offered, I don't know if that offer is going to last, to let me use his much higher end laptop with a better GPU. Just for filming. Editing is a little bit of a different story. Editing is more contingent on your RAM than it is your GPU. So that way I can get, because my camera's technically 4K, we just end up having to dummy it down to 720p in order to make sure that my computer doesn't shit itself. And that's part of the reason why the audio desyncs, is because sometimes when those little blur effects happened, it just fucks up the audio for a couple minutes at a time. And that is a pain in the ass to sync back up for the sake of maybe 2 or 3 minutes worth of footage. So I am aware of these technical issues, and I'm doing what I can to try to fix them. In the event that I do end up getting enough money to get a new laptop, I'll just do that. It makes sure I, invest in something with a higher GPU that can handle that type of filming. So I do apologize to those of you that have been a little frustrated by that. But I know that a lot of people don't tend to really care because it's an hour and a half of listening to me talk, so a lot of you just tend to play it in the background while playing video games and stuff like that. So I always make sure that at least the audio is in good quality. I've had some people complain about like the white noise in the background. Look, guys, I live in Tucson, Arizona. It gets stuffy and hot. And I'm not the type of person to compromise my comfort for the sake of quality. It sucks. And also, I tried to do the noise cancellation in Audacity, and it makes my voice sound like it's shit hitting a tin can. So, yeah. So what's coming from the grab bag in these next few months is I am going to start telling you guys in advance some of the artists I'll be covering. I'll keep some things a surprise, but I think hyping you guys up a little bit more will probably do me some favors. I got a George Harrison deep discog dive because he's my favorite Beatle, and I'm going to have some other Beatles goodies in that episode, but it's not going to be strictly the Beatles. The themed months have been annoying my friends. The reason why I say it's annoying my friends and why that matters is because a lot of my friends really like being able to recommend what they want. And I know that I've had some fans make requests and stuff like that. And the reason why I don't really take those into consideration super frequently is because I feel like you do one request for one fan, and then suddenly you're just left with an ending, wall of people wanting you to take their recommendations and stuff like that. And I've had people say, well, why don't you have people pay you? And it's all that feels kind of scummy. It's already bad enough I'm telling some people no. Why should I be all pay me, an amateur YouTuber, to review an album that you could have some random other person on the internet eagerly review it, for free? The whole purpose behind the grab bag now is to help me build something of a canon. And I'm going to give the people I know in real life a lot more of a chance than some of my fans. And that's not because I devalue my fans, it's just because I value my sanity. I don't want to create a barrage of bullshit. I do listen to people, though. If I get multiple people requesting that I review the same artist or the same album, I'm probably going to end up leaning into that. I've had a lot of people request a Guitar Romantic by Exploding Hearts review, for instance, and I've been wanting to do that. It was actually on it was on the cutting room floor for Adventures in Vinyl Land at one point. Never ended up happening because I lost all motivation to make videos around 2020 at the time of COVID. And then I ended up having to sell my entire vinyl collection at one point. So I want to incorporate Guitar Romantic. Also, I'm starting to collect CDs now, which is, a lot of people are all really? Come on, at least vinyl's cooler. I don't know, CDs are making a comeback, and I think they're neat. They have a superior sound quality to them, and you don't have to fucking flip the record. And I think that my higher end, I actually do have these really expensive high end stereo speakers from Kef. which is like, I believe, a German or some European company. They're KEF C40 speakers, and I believe they're more designed with like CDs in mind anyways. So this might end up being a lot more satisfying. And I think I'm only going to buy CDs for albums that I give the S tier to. January, the January episodes, because I'm going to try to get 2 out next month. It's going to be a combination of the Pop Princess month that should have been released at the end of this month. And also, I didn't get to finish like the second reason why there was a delay. Wow, I'm really bad with the tangents, as you can see. Like, there was a delay because I kept having issues with the video, like artifacting, and it caused the video editing software to like render a version of the video that I would like cherry pick the raw footage that couldn't be read, which meant I have to go in and like see like what's causing that issue and like cut those few seconds out. It was tedious. That took an extra like 4 days of production time that didn't need to be spent. Again, that's more or less the same issue that I've already explained. Anyways, back on track. So there's going to be my year roundup where I take all the S tiers from that I listened to in 2024. There's only 2 albums that were released in 2024 itself that made the S tier list. One of them's the Billie Eilish album. The other one, you guys will see it. I don't mind spoiling it. It's Cassandra Jenkins, My Light, My Destroyer. Just an absolutely amazing album if you're into sophistopop and shoegazing and stuff like that. Like I said, I got the Beatles coming up. I got Tool. I promised a close friend of mine I'd listen to the whole Tool discography, which isn't very large, not exactly super demanding. And then I'll also be doing the Cocteau Twins and Tyler, the Creator, because as you guys will see, I listened to and loved Chromacopia, but I was hesitant to give it the S tier because, like, I looked into, like, the legacy that Tyler, the Creator, has, and I'm all like, I don't want to preemptively give this the S tier and then be all like, no, Flower Boy is the S tier, because I only give, like, 1 S tier per artist. It's kind of a dumb rule of mine, but, I think that's all I really have to say. I know this one was really ranty and very long, but wanted to give you guys something for Christmas. I look forward to the new episode of Groovy Grab Bag. It should be posted by the end of this month, and then anticipate the Pop Princess episode to be out by the middle of January, because I want to get caught up. I am tired of being 2 months behind. See you guys later. Merry Christmas.